Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. My name is Chris Bailey, and we are thankful that you're participating in this study of the book of Hebrews. And our focus in these 5 parts is going to be on Jesus as the mediator of the new covenant, the promise between us and our God. This is going to be awesome. And if you've had any questions or any ideas about this, make sure you watch this study. And please, if you're being blessed by these series, we appreciate it. Make sure you like the video, share it with somebody else, and subscribe to our channel too. And just in case you're watching this and you're at some other video playing site somewhere, always visit us at home, our online home at CHANGEministry.org. And when you're there, if you feel impressed, we'd appreciate any support towards the ministry with a financial gift. You can do that at CHANGEministry.org/donate. But no matter what, let's get into the truth that is free for all of us to show that Jesus has set us free. Father, as we look now into the new covenant, this new deal that you've given to us, help us to understand you and your love so much that we all accept it. Amen. Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, is the focus. And in today's title, New and Renewed, the gift of salvation was always a new gift whenever it was offered. From the very beginning in Genesis chapter 3, verse 9, when God offered us this alternative to our condemnation from sin, he's given it to us anew. But what we'll see in the history of the people of God is that we rejected that mercy. We broke that deal or that covenant that he gave to us. So he just came back with a new one. So when we think about what Jesus offers us and what he freely gives to us, we have to remember that what Jesus offers us is new because we broke what we had. We broke what he freely gave to us. We violated which was new, which was in verity. So he had to come up with something anew or something renewed. Hence the idea of the new covenant. Sometimes we make this new and old because of something that he did. There was something that was missing on his part. No. The reason why the old covenant became old was because we rejected it. We failed at it. And we'll understand that later on in some of the other studies. But what he now offers us is renewed or even new. When you go to the Bible in Hebrews chapter 8, look here at verses 10 and 12. It says, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people." Again, we're going to focus on that, where the promises of God work, in a few studies soon. But for now, look at verse 12. "I'll be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more." Notice how up in verse 10 it says, after those days. What days? The days of Israel's failure, the days of Israel's backsliding. Even after those days, and they have broken what I offered them at Sinai, which was a relationship with me, I'm going to come back and I'm going to offer them a new deal or a new covenant. It's even here in Hebrews, and rather Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24. It's even here in Isaiah chapter 24 and verse number 5, where it says plainly, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant." It is not everlasting any longer because he failed, because Jehovah fails, but Israel failed, Jerusalem failed, and that everlasting was rejected, hence the covenant was broken. But what he offers us now is another hand. That's why when Jesus was here and he walked the earth, where he said that if someone strikes you on one cheek, what did he say to do? Turn to them the other. The reason why Jesus was able to say that was because that's exactly what he did for us. Where we strike him on one cheek in the violation or the failure in the old covenant, it was made old because our rejection. He offers us a new cheek, a new opportunity. And this is what we see in his very coming, when he came to this earth to offer himself as a sacrifice. One more verse, and it's there in Jeremiah 31. We broke what we had, so what Christ offers has to be, and it is new. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. Who broke what? Israel broke God's command. Israel broke God's promise. In fact, it even said here that I took them by the hand, like a husband would hold the wife's hand. But what happens? Like Jose and with his wandering wife Gomer, she left him. Israel left God. The wife withdrew the hand from the husband, and therefore the husband now says, I'm going to grab her with the other hand. Jesus says, I'm going to grab them with another hand by not just speaking to them, but I'm going to come and dwell amongst them and even die at their own hand. Brothers and sisters, we're just starting off into understanding why God has to offer us the new. But it's important to recognize this at the start because we have to put failure where it belongs. It is not a failure of love. It is not a failure on God's part. It is a failure on our part. It is actually the exercising of our choice that breaks us off from the blessing of the Lord. So now, the only thing and the only way that we can fix a bad choice is to make a good one. And that's the invitation that we're making to you right now, that we would now make a good choice. And the better choice is to choose the new that Jesus still offers. We're going to understand more what he offers. But we start now and we stop here. If this has blessed you and encouraged you, and if you've learned from this, please like the video and pass it on to someone else to bless them too. And above all, when it comes to understanding that Jesus offers us the new, let's accept the new and let go of all of our old.